Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Today we're working on the Pontiac Vibe GT once again. Today we're going to tackle our variable valve timing issue, the fact that I don't have any of it. This is a very complicated motor. It's a 2ZZ-GE. A lot of design work from Yamaha, but it is Toyota built, even though it says Pontiac on the front. Shares the same motor with a lot of Lotus products as well. Lotus actually strapped a supercharger onto this thing. But it's the same motor you're going to find in the Pontiac Vibe GT, same motor you're going to find in the Celica GTS, the Toyota Matrix GTS. Pretty cool motor. It kicks into variable valve timing and lift at 6,700 RPMs. And in my case, it doesn't do that. It gets to 6,700 RPMs and it freaks the heck out and doesn't do anything it's supposed to do. It's supposed to go whop, and I don't get any whop. So we're going to go with the easy resolution first, which is check the filter to see if that's plugged up, because from what I've seen with my oil change, there's a couple of items that have probably not been maintained up to snuff. So first thing to do, pop the hood, and we're going to go after this variable valve timing filter and see if it's clogged up, and if that's the case, we're going to clean it up, we're going to put it back in, we're going to see if our variable valve timing works. If not, we just keep fixing things. So stick around. Yeah, fixing stuff. Here we go. And there she is in all of her Toyota glory. My junkyard battery. Our variable valve timing solenoid and filter are underneath that airbox and down in yonder underneath these hoses. So we got to do a little bit of disassembly to get to where we need to be. So let me prop this hood up, set the camera up, and start doing some disassembly. This variable valve control solenoid and filter are underneath here. So I'm going to need to take out this airbox, my PCV and breather lines, disconnect my battery, because we're going to be working with electronics and such. We need to get down to right in there. So I think if we remove the airbox and lift this a little bit here, we'll get to where we need to be. Get some tools. Oh, hey. That's fine. On there with a zip tie that somebody probably broke. Yep, somebody broke that bolt. Fine. Oh, what did I buy? What did I buy? Hoses off. Never even have peeked in this airbox. Hey, there's actually a filter in it. That's good news. I'm sure pull the airbox and the hose all in one piece if possible, because there's a lot of breather lines and such and vacuum lines and such that I don't really want to mess with. So see if we can get this clamp to release. Otherwise, yeah, let's get that clamp to release. These are not going to want to move. They're heavily corroded. Put a little prayer in a can on it and see what happens. Hey, that one at least comes off. So worst case, I can get the airbox off. How about this guy? Alright! Score one for prayer in a can. Alright. Gotta take off that vacuum hose. I want to do as little disassembly as possible here. Hose with the filter on it. So many hoses! So many hoses! Yeah, we're just gonna have to disconnect everything. I don't have enough playroom here. Oh, for God's sakes. Like 7 million air hoses on this thing. All right. Yeah, air filter doesn't look too bad. All right, so to fly you guys in here and show you what I'm talking about, this guy right here is our variable valve timing solenoid right here. This guy. So behind this is a filter right around yonder, and it just slides in, slides out. I just got to get to it, so I'm going to pull the mounting bolt for this off out of the way, and then it's got about, I think it's got like 6 bolts around here that disconnect, and then a couple of sensors that I got to disconnect, and then that whole plate and solenoid comes off, and then the filter's behind it. So let's do a little bit more disassembly. Take all those bolts off, get that solenoid out. Technically, we could also throw current at that solenoid to see if it clicky-clackies. And I also am probably going to make a little bit of a mess because there is oil behind this as well, which, oops. That sensor's off. 2 bolts that hold, that are grounds. And the wiring here. Should push it and pull out. Yep, that pushes in and pulls out. Alright, grounding strap off. I don't know if you can see. Both sets of ground straps are off. I'm just going to run the bolts back in them. Well, that one's complicated. Why would you put a bolt there? Jackass. Do Japanese people use skinnier sockets? Good afternoon, Lucore Automotive. This is Austin. How can I help you? And I'm back. Sorry, folks. I've got to be Dave for a little bit today. So the nifty thing here is, I don't know if you can see this or not, but most of these nuts and bolts are 10 millimeters, and this one on the top here is also a 10 millimeter. However, you cannot get a socket on it because it's butted up against the solenoid, so you're going to need to take it off the wrench, get it loose, and then back it off by hand. And it's also conveniently hidden behind the fuel line, which is nice. Oh, come on. Get a bigger wrench. Hit it with your purse, Alice. Sorry, are you trying to film? Nope. It's fine. Nobody's here for you. Alright, let's try a slightly larger 10 millimeter. That one won't clear. Take the fuel on this. But this is why it's annoying to do my own work. Ah, we can get her by hand. How'd you learn to do that thing with your fingers? Removing hidden bolts that I can't see. Alright, there we go. And that is a longer bolt. I like old V8s better than this.
I hope you're not showing your backside to the camera.
Nope. It's off camera.
Because that would not be on YouTube.
I'd have to edit that out.
I was worried about that. When I helped you turn the coolant nets upside down. And then
I always catch it and edit out the ass crack.
My ass was facing the camera, but I wasn't exposing anything. I was kind of proud.
I
Storage for a minute.
I always cut out the ass crack.
Always cut out the crack.
Okay. That's the same length bolt.
Customer up front.
Oh, come on.
It's just
What was I doing? Oh, bottom bolt. That's a long bolt also. Nut. I'm gonna totally remember how to put all this back together again. Here's a cheat. Film yourself taking it apart. Then you can go back and watch yourself and help yourself put it back together again. So we've got all our bolts out. 3 long bolts, 2 short bolts, 2 nuts on studs. All of our wires are disconnected. This should just pop directly off. It is going to pour oil all over everything because there is oil that's going to be up there. So I'm going to get a rag to be able to make as little mess as possible. We'll pull this off. Then it's a moment of truth. What do you guys think? Think this filter is disgusting? Or you think it's going to be clean? Think somebody's already been in here and done this service? Or it's had 250,000 miles of schmutz strapped in it? Time to find out. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Ooh. Not perfect. Certainly not perfect. Can you see that? Right here? That's the filter. And interestingly, it's oriented with the tabs up and down, not side to side. So, pay attention to how that's oriented. And she comes right out. And there she is, folks. Let's put it up to the light and see how much comes through it. The answer is none. Yeah. That's not doing much. Well, I'm not going to be able to show you guys really how horrible this is, but the outside of the screen, like, you literally can't see any light through this. I don't know if you can. Yeah, whatever. Take my word for it. And then you've got the inside bits of this, which again, I'm not going to be able to focus a camera into that hole, but there is some schmutz that's in there. This has certainly not been out in a long time, if ever. And again, we've seen some evidence of poor maintenance in the past. This is my solenoid and plate, and I showed you I can scrape stuff out of this. So we're going to clean this out with a bunch of brake clean and get this housing as clean as possible. Try to clean up this filter so that it's good to go. And then we're going to put it back together again and see what happens and hope for the best. Yeah, it'll work. It'll work. Sensor's out. Solenoid we're going to leave in there. It's keyed. And this does not seem like this is supposed to come out of here because these tabs are bent over. So we're just going to be real careful cleaning this. Not get anything directly in the sensor there. But the passageways through here are just disgusting. Again, you're probably not going to be able to see that real well, but this passageway is disgusting. Well, I guess it's solvent tank after all. So we have upgraded our game here on cleaning. I've hit this with brake clean. I've hit this with throttle plate cleaner. I've hit this with mineral spirits. I'm now hitting it with top engine cleaner, trying to get this stuff in this screen to break up and fall out. Because if this doesn't clean up, that means I need to get a new filter. And that's a problem because that means I need to put the car back together again and I need to drive the car home. Which I can't do if it's apart. So I've got the other piece, the actual plate in the parts cleaner in the mineral spirits bath. I'm going to clean that thing off as best as I can, clean out the passages as best I can. And then we'll put this thing back together again and see what's what. Ugh. So bad. So bad. What did I do? Okay. We have our plate pretty well cleaned off. Passages are considerably cleaner than they were before. Certainly not perfect, but much better than they were before. We got as much schmutz as we possibly could out of the housing unit itself. This screen we've been soaking for quite a long time. If you can see the color of the fluid it's now sitting in. It used to be clear. It is now looks a little like whiskey. A little bit of whiskey. Not gonna drink that. Very toxic. I still can't see through this screen. It is still not great. Ideally, I would put a new screen in this thing. I got all the junk out of it at least. I just don't know. I don't know whether or not this screen will allow passage through it or not. I mean, I'm getting a lot of junk out of it, but I don't know if it's going to be clean enough. I honestly don't know. At least we know that this is a likely culprit. I'm going to keep cleaning it and give it another 20 or 30 minutes. Right now it is storming like crazy outside, if you can't hear that. It's apparently the 60-degree day is now going to turn into a snowing and hailing day with a crazy storm in between. So I need to get this car done and outside and driving home because I am daily driving this car at the moment. So we're going to get this thing as good as possible and then we're going to give it a shot. At least it's not brown anymore. It's silver. Still can't see a damn thing through it. And it is a really fine screen, but like, I would like to be able to see some light through it. And yeah. Oh well, it is what it is. It's about as clean as we're gonna get it. Do I dare put some air through this? Be right back. Well, sports fans, I'm back. I'm not sure if you could tell that or not, but you can start to see through this. How about them apples? So I soaked it in this top engine cleaner, which has now become, I think we're at Scotch now, past a whiskey. I think we're on to a good strong Scotch. It smells like a real peaty scotch. But that did manage to break up quite a lot of the stuff that's inside of this filter. Inside looks a lot better. The screen I can actually see light through. Now there's definitely a lot of particulates in here, and I doubt I can, let me see if I can give you a video here. I doubt I can get this on camera, but we're gonna give it a good old college try. Yeah, there you go. You can see, right? So there's still some particulates that are in there. It's not perfect. Yeah, see, you can see them there. There's some particulates in there. But it's it's a whole lot better than it was. So I'm gonna soak this for a couple more minutes, and then I'm gonna blow it with some more compressed air just for a little bit, just to see if I can get those last chunks of debris out of there. It's a lot better than it was. I'm not gonna make any promises here, but it's a lot better than it was. So we'll toss it back in the scotch for another like 5 minutes or so, see if we can break up a little bit more of this, and then we'll go back together again. Hopefully I remember where everything goes. And then maybe my car will go whap! Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. Back in the scotch. Back in a minute. Well, it's not good as new, but it's a whole lot better than it was. Let's go back together and see what happens. Cross our fingers. This is the point where I would really appreciate it. For those of you who believe in prayers or magic, do your thing. Because I'm going to need it. Let's go back to reassembly, shall we? Oh, those passageways are disgusting. This thing is disgusting. Look at that. I mean, there's like chunks of stuff. That's not even... This is a nightmare. I don't even know if I can show you this. I don't even know if I want to show you this. Can you see the level of gunk and garbage in those holes? Ugh. This person did not maintain, or persons did not maintain this car very well. Little mechanical sympathy, people. Ugh. Well, clean that out as best I can. Well, I'm sorry to report my camera battery died. But good news, while you were away and recharging, I did get some stuff done. I got it back together. Well, at least the one piece. The housing is in, the filter is back in. Now, I did reorient the tabs on the filter. I don't know whether or not that makes any difference at all. But it was vertical. The alignment tabs were vertical when I pulled it out, and they are now horizontal when I put it back together. We'll see if that makes a difference. I don't know. But 3 long bolts go in to hold it. It's got the 2 studs that hold it. The ground straps are back on. Here, how about I just show you? So, yeah, we got our bolts, our nuts and studs that are back together. Our grounding bits are on. Our sensors are plugged back in. All of our bolts are snugged up to the point where, you know, these aren't like load-bearing bolts, so they don't have to be crazy. But they're all together. So I need to put on my breather tubes. Oh, and I put my 2 bolts back in that hold the fuel line to the fuel rail. So put my breather tubes back on, and then get this whole mess of intake plugged back in with all these vacuum lines and sensors and stuff. Then we're going to turn the key and maybe try it. It is wet outside, so I don't know if I want to let all these horsepowers loose when that VVTi kicks in, but I mean, I gotta know. So we'll find a closed course stretch of course and give it a try and see what happens. Let me figure out how to put all this stuff back together again. Plug everything back in and everything. And yeah, then we'll be back to this. Finishing the reassembly. What do you think, guys? Think I fixed it? Do you think I fixed it? I hope I fixed it. Certainly could have made it worse. That filter was horrible. And the stuff that came out of there, like, I had to scrape it with my fingers to be able to get it out of there, and it is bleh. Maintenance. I'm pretty sure with my 250,000 miles that are on this car, this has never been done. Pretty sure. Okay, dokay. With your T-junction, and you come up here and plug into that guy. Okay. We're looking dangerously like it's time to try this thing. Man, I hope this works. Alright guys, what do you think? Think I fixed my problem? Think I made it worse? Or I think I had no effect whatsoever? I hope I fixed it. All in all, it's not a terrible, terrible job to do. As long as your screen's not completely destroyed and disgusting like mine is, you know, you're in and out of this in an hour or so. Not terrible. Just keep your mind about you. It will be more terrible if I have to do it again, though, if I'm being completely honest. Okay. Battery's reconnected. All of our sensors are reconnected. All of our hoses are reconnected. Our clamps are tight. It's reconnected. Let's turn the key, see what happens, and hopefully it runs if we don't have a massive oil leak. And then we go for a test drive and see if I fixed it. Step 1, does it start? Well, that's a good sign. At least it started. I don't see any oil leaks, so that's good. Let's turn it off, see where our oil level is. There's no check engine light on, so that's a good thing. Let's see where our oil level is. These things are pretty finicky as far as oil level, especially on this VVTi system. Right on the stick, dead where we want to be. Didn't lose a lot of oil, which is good. There are a couple of things that I would say are not necessarily really oil leaks, but like seepage, the valve cover gasket seeping, a couple of other places that are seeping, but nothing that's like an actively bad oil leak. So I'm gonna get this thing started up, get it warmed up, and then we're gonna go for a drive and see if we've got VVTi. Please give me VVTi. Cleaned up, put all my toys away, go for a test drive. For those of you who haven't seen this car, or haven't seen me drive this car, or haven't heard this car before, I do have mechanical sympathy. I am going to aggressively drive a car with 250,000 miles on it, but it is up to temperature. As you can see, she's up to nice operating temperature. So we're gonna give it a go, moment of truth. Either that fixed it, or I've got something considerably more annoying that I've got to replace. But that's what you do. I do have the snap-on scanner here sitting beside me just in case. But we're gonna know as soon as it gets past 6,700 RPM, 7,000 RPMs, it's gonna make a different engine sound. and if it doesn't, it's not working. It'll also kick a check engine light, which means it's not working. So there will be new thrust, new sounds, new feels, or none of that in a check engine light. So here we go, folks, here we go. We've got VTech, yo! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! I fixed the thing! I've got it. I fixed it. Go me. Let's try it again, just to make sure. Double verify. Let's be scientific about this. Double verify. 3,000. 4,000. 5,000. 6,000. There we go, baby. Yes! Ugh. Love it. No check engine light. We are good to go. VVTi is once again functioning. So, comes down to a plug screen. You can't do any filtering if you don't have any ability to pass even sunlight through the screen. So we're probably again chalking this up to bad maintenance, to be honest with you. This car's got 250,000 miles on it. That probably has never been pulled, never been cleaned, never been worked on. So, you know, it needed an hour and a half, well, call it 2 hours worth of work to clean the screen and disassembling and put it back together again. But now I have like 20 more horsepower, and it's much happier on the top end. So, yay me, I did a thing. No more VVTi failure. So hopefully, guys, this was entertaining for you, maybe a little educational. If you are a fellow VVTi owner, maybe this helps you out with your 2ZZ if you're having the same problem. If so, there you go. There's the first way to fix it. Fortunately, I don't have to go any further than that, but like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm gonna enjoy my drive home, VVTiing all over the place and probably ruining my fuel economy, because this car gets a lot more fun to drive when you can use it up in the higher RPM, so. I love it. I love it. It's such a great feeling, isn't it? Fixing a vehicle and then going out for a test drive to verify you fixed it. Love it. Anyways, thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.